Many Kenyans out here are curious to know, do we actually lose 2 billion shillings a day? And I think there is no one who will be more competent to let us know whether this is the case or not, other than yourself.
I think I would want to leave that to the person who talked about the 2 billion, because that is somebody who is privy to probably intelligence information that says that we are losing 2 billion. But for us, what we do is we consolidate what is not accounted for. And in our reports, you'll see where we say, for example, these particular entities did not account for this amount. Then we consolidate and we say this has not been accounted for, and follow up on that.
There are pervasive concerns around the appointment of third-party auditors and the process that you go through before you do that, because this is critical just for, to bring to public awareness how the audit process goes and the findings, etc. Could you just give us some sense of how this is conducted?
The Public Audit Act allows the Auditor General to outsource audits. And there are various reasons why the Auditor General can or should outsource audits. And one of the reasons or challenges that we face is some of the entities we audit are highly complex in terms of ownership structure. For example, the listed companies, you'll find that they're partly owned by the government, partly owned by private investors, partly owned by citizens who have bought shares in them. And their operations sometimes are highly complicated, like in the energy sector. And we are still building capacity to audit some of those entities comprehensively. But the private auditors have this capacity because they pool resources from their global pool. Now, another challenge, of course, is the stringent timelines required by the Capital Markets Authority of some of these entities. And of course, our problem of funding, that sometimes it will release us and the little funds we have to audit counties and audit ministries and allow private auditors to audit these listed companies, and then they pay for that. Now, the process of audit follows, the process of recruiting or appointing these auditors follows the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. The entities, I give authority for the entities to procure, and I oversight that process. Then I appoint the auditor who now comes up as tops in that. So that is the process that we follow.
Crossing over to matters of compensation, one long-running conversation has been about the audit of the compensation of land in relation to the standard gauge railway. Would you care to comment on this matter? Again,
that was one of the backlog. And we did carry out an audit of the National Land Commission with regard to the payments on compensation on behalf of other government entities. And a component, the standard gauge railway was one of the components. And I issued that report, and it was highlighted in the media. So now we're just waiting for the parliamentary process to continue. Still on matters of projects, when you look at the issues around the Lake Turkana wind power project with regard to the determination of the cost of the Loyangalani-Suswa line, it's another matter which has been in the public domain. A lot of discussion around it, the audit being conducted. How far are we with this? Yes, we have been auditing the Loyangalani-Suswa evacuation line. It's also part of the backlog. As I said, the backlog was not just on the financial audits, it was also on the specialized audits. And I'm currently, that report is currently under review, and I shall issue it in due course, yeah. The backlog, I mean, keeps on coming up recurrently. And let me ask this question then. Do you feel we have a bit of misalignment as far as the legal framework is concerned in terms of enhancing the ease with which you can execute this mandate of audits that is looking at the Constitution and various acts like the PFM Act? The Constitution is clear on the mandate of the Auditor General, and this has been, of course, operationalized by the Public Audit Act. The Public Finance Management Act is also very robust, including the regulations. But where we find misalignment is when you look at the Constitution, it says, or it provides for 6 months for the Auditor General to audit and report after the end of the financial year. And that is what's known out there in the public domain, that the Auditor General has 6 months to audit and report. But the Public Finance Management Act now comes in and gives the entities 3 months to prepare the financial statements and submit to the Auditor General. That hives off half the time period that the Auditor General has been given by the Constitution. So that is one of the areas I'm advocating, that we must change, or we must amend the Public Audit Act and reduce the timelines given to the entities from 3 months, within 3 months, to within 1 month. Now, these entities, they are automated, they have IFMIs, they have ERPs, including state corporations. They are required to produce quarterly financial statements. So it is just the last quarter and the consolidated financial statements that they need to prepare. You don't require 3 months to prepare financial statements if you have been in charge of the processes. Yeah. That will buy us two additional months, which were hived off by the Public Finance Management Act.